Okay, so we are way late, and I understand that. It's 10:16. That's 16 minutes late because we're supposed to be 1:10 at 10, and we are not. We're not. We're 1:10 at once. We're 1:10 at 10:16. So I'm probably going to get in trouble because you get to see our kitchen. So I'm probably going to get in trouble later. Hi, Olivia. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Josh. I'm so glad that you guys are here this morning. And we were concerned. Yeah, Kathy, I was concerned too when I realized it was 10:15. So my alarm went off. I have an alarm because normally I'm in the shop and I have to remind myself that I need to get ready. And that alarm went off and I was busy. So I turned it off and then I forgot. So that's why you don't do that. But, oh, hi, Belle. How are you doing? So, oh, Kira's on. Kira. I said it right. I said it right. So anyway, Rebecca and Jacob, I'm so glad. So we got Rebecca, Jacob, Josh, Kira, Olivia, Bill. Man, go figure. We are getting ready to go to our retreat, and I know I have a surprise. I said I was going to have a surprise, and I do. Man, sinus issues. I'm hating them, man. They're just killing me right now. Anyway, Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5. I want to, give you something this morning, something that has challenged me, and I think even so, more so right now. I'm sure most of you have noticed that there are extra restrictions that are getting put when you're out in public with masks and those types of things, and it can be challenging, it can be frustrating. And there might even be some concern for discussing and making some discussions in our the people that we have in charge and things of that nature. But regardless, there are some rules and restrictions in place, and so we have to decide as Christians how do we respond. And not saying that we don't attempt to get things changed and maybe look at new procedures and stuff of that nature. But while the restrictions are in place, we're supposed to follow them and do what we're supposed to do. But Ephesians chapter 5 speaks to this. And it speaks to a lot of things, I think, in our area, in our world right now. But it says, starting in verse 15, the focus is verse 17, but starting in verse 15, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise. I read a book from an author. I'm not a huge fan of the author now, but the book was a great book. But it was the best question ever. And the idea was saying not can I do this, not asking that, but the best question ever is always like, what is the wise thing to do, right, from these verses? Making the best use of your time because the days leave. Here's verse 17. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. So the challenge today is don't be foolish. Don't be a fool. Understand what the will of the Lord is. When you read Ephesians specifically talking about the freedoms that we have as Christians, the things that we are allowed to do, the things that we can go and do. But then so much of that is then turned around and focused on the idea that we should do all of those things out of love. We should do all of those things out of a care for other people. That even when we have freedoms, even when we have the abilities to do things, that we should only do those when it's expedient, when it's best. You can have a freedom and the ability to do something and still decide that it's not the wise thing to do. Yes, I might be able to do it. Yes, I might not be breaking any rules. I might not be sinning per se, in the act of it, but maybe my attitude is sinning. My attitude is not the right way to go. And I think that we see that in Scripture a lot, where Scripture says, yes, you have the freedom to do anything. There's freedom in a lot of areas here, especially as Christians. We have freedom to not sin. We have a freedom to be a slave to righteousness, which an unsaved person doesn't have that ability. They are automatically, we talked about that yesterday, they're already condemned. They're already slaves to unrighteousness. And as freedom, we have the ability to be free. We have the ability to make decisions for a lot of different things that an unsaved person can't make. But what we're told with those freedoms is that we are supposed to do everything with love. We're supposed to do everything as wise people and listening and trying to get along with as many people as that we can get along with, that we obey our leaders, that we obey. I mean, the scripture tells slaves, obey your masters. Don't, just because you're a Christian and you're not technically bonded, you're not technically enslaved by sin, not technically, but you're not enslaved by sin. You don't have that thing here. You're still a slave in this world, and so obey your masters. Be good to them. Work well for them. Work hard for them. And I know sometimes that's hard to understand. When we look at situations where Scripture would say, yes, you could be in a bad marriage situation, but fight through it. Sacrifice. You could be in a bad personal relationship, but sometimes you need to sacrifice and show love and care. Yes, you have freedoms to leave and change and do stuff, but sometimes we're called to show love and show sacrificial love to an extent. So my challenge to you this morning is one, not to be foolish. Don't be foolish and just go around flaunting freedoms that we do have, but that we shouldn't be using in the ways that we're using them. So, look, try, right now, I know it's hard, but try to obey the rules. If you don't want to go to a place that requires a mask and something of that nature, okay, don't. That's your right. You don't have to go there. You're not forced to go there. But if you do, don't try to fight them. Don't try to do that. Don't try to act in an inappropriate way. You can write a letter to the company and say, I don't think this is good. I don't think this is right. You can write a letter to your mayor, your congressman, all of these things. And these are the aspects of the stuff that we have, the abilities that we have, but don't do it incorrectly. Do it out of love. Do it in a wise way. And then when we get into situations with leaders and parents and things of that nature, I know I've got a few at least that are watching. Everything just flickered here. Yeah, you're 18 maybe, and you might be able to have the freedom to do certain things, but honor your parents anyway. Do what they're asking you to do. Follow along. Pay attention to what they're asking you, because that's the wise thing to do. That's the correct thing to do, even though you might have some freedoms to do something different. So don't be foolish. Don't allow your freedoms to make you foolish, but work out your freedom in love and charity and peace. So that's my challenge to you this morning. I did want to share something with you. I'm super excited about this. Let's see if I can show you guys. Now, this won't be that cool for those of you who are not going with us this week. What? Jacob? Yeah, Jacob's on here. You want to say hi in a second? But look. Oh, it's upside down. Can you help me? This, we gotta go this way. This is a banner, right? So this next week, some group is gonna win this. They're gonna win it. What do you think? And they're gonna be able to put their names on this. They're gonna sign whoever wins. Whoa! All right, let's roll it back up. Let's roll it back up. We're gonna sign that, and we're gonna hang that in our youth room as people did that. So that is our retreat name, Mountain to Valley. We're going to talk about, we're going to look and research and study out scripture on how to worship God in the mountain and in the valley. When we're high, when we've got really good emotions going and we got the feel goods happening and all of those things, which we'll have, and especially this week, we're going to be together. We're going to have fun. We're going to be separated from everybody, and we're going to. I know. Do you know where the rubber band went? We're going to be doing that kind of thing. We're going to have fun doing that,